I love this game. My face while playing it looks like the monk in the thumbnail. It has almost everything I want from an ARPG, but it's not flawless. No game can be. So these are my thoughts about the game after almost 300 hours playing it. I got 3 characters to endgame, so I did a lot of maps and got through the campaign 6 times. I'll list the things I'd like to be improved. No point praising Path of Exile more than this. I'd give it a high score already if it wasn't early access, you know. Now, the devs had a big stream yesterday on Twitch with Q&A and stuff. The TLDR of it is they are on top of things, and the next patch will already fix a lot of my issues with the game. And the next one after this will be a bit bigger with the economy and league reset. Actually, I don't know if that's the patch after this one, because it might be more quick fix patches in between, but the reset is coming with big changes. That was the TLDR of yesterday's stream. So without further ado, let's get into some of the things I'd change in the game, especially after this stream, in no particular order. First thing, add an auction house, guys. Please don't let this be the norm in Path of Exile 2. It's time to do it. I know it will be a challenge to develop because we need almost all the functionality and the filters of the website. Just start working on it because it's badly needed, and make it expensive for highly priced items, meaning you can't sit there and flip and abuse the market all day, not without actually playing the game, you know. The next thing on my list is readability issues. Sometimes, especially after your build gets online, so to speak, you can't see the ground through all the FX. I wish there would be an option to use less complex FX. I can actually see the ground. I know not all classes and builds have this issue, but all 3 of my characters I played had it. The mercenary was throwing grenades everywhere, and I died countless times because I didn't see what was under my own effects. The infernalist, well, I was filling the screen with fire, and good luck seeing stuff. And the last one I've played was the best actually, with less issues, the invoker. You could solve this by making player effects have lower priority over the mob telegraphs, if they are transparent. If you change the FX priority, you basically change the order in which the particles are rendered, you know. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's a messy solution, meaning it might look like S. But if you can't implement an FX slider or something in the graphics options to reduce the particles, I take this particle sorting fix. But yeah, enough with this too. Now, citadels, they're like unicorns for me. I didn't see one for days, then I discovered 4 back to back to back to back. No joy. The next thing, this will get somewhat fixed in the next patch because they'll add these beams of light that will be visible in Fog of War. Difficulty. This is all over the place, especially in campaign. After that, it's okay, but the campaign is all over the place. The last boss of the campaign is easier than the previous boss, Viper Napwazi. Again, my solo self-found mercenary struggled almost the entire campaign. This is why I did all those guides for people who struggle. The Infernalist, the Invoker, though, the characters I traded with, shut on the campaign. Now, granted, I knew the mechanics by this point, but still, if you trade, the campaign becomes so easy. You could at least make the boss ramping difficulty make sense. This is not the case. I feel like Act 2 boss, Jamanra, is the hardest. Then Viper Napwazi, the second, and then the first act, actually. Count whatever, the wolf. So yeah, the last boss of Act 3 is very easy. It's like a side boss or something. The next thing, one-shotting mechanics. I know you said in the patch you'll tone them down, but I'm pretty sure it won't be enough. Just get rid of them entirely. Like, okay, when you do pinnacle bosses, leave them there. But other than those, please, there's no need for one-shot mechanics in games. This might be a bit better after you enable 6 portals on bosses, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, it feels you get robbed every time it happens. For the first issue, I talked about the readability of what's happening on the ground. Besides, one-shots feel cheap in ARPGs overall. Backtracking now. Backtracking in maps feels bad, man. I feel you should redesign some of the maps, and the Atlas map itself has some weird dead ends. but I figured it out. Pro tip here. If you get a dead end on the Atlas, you should be near a citadel, by the way. If you didn't notice this by now, I deserve a sub. From now on you'll see them in the fog of war, so it doesn't matter, but yeah. I did a map tier list video from an infernalist point of view. These maps can feel different with different characters, but the backtracking feels the same with all of them, no matter your class. All the S tier maps I've talked about have some things in common. They're either narrow, so you see both the edges of the map as you go. Ravine is like this, and I love that map, and I only find it once in the Atlas. So this is more rare than citadels for me. And actually is more rare than unique maps, because I found multiple instances of those. Then there are these circular maps like Burial Bog. The thing with this one is if you explore the map as you go on the outside borders, you'll keep killing stuff until the last rare monster, and that's the key. Backtracking doesn't feel like shit if you're killing stuff. And there are maps like Steppe. Those are my favorites, by the way. Just a circular map or a square map, it doesn't even matter. If the edges are more regular, that can be completed easily with no backtracking at all. What I do is this. I go on the outside hugging the external walls. After the rare icons show up, usually on the interior, I go straight towards them. Again, the key thing here is I'm killing monsters all the way, because I have unexplored parts of the map between me and those rares. So this is what the developers should be aiming for, no matter the layout of the map. So please redesign, if possible, the layouts of maps like Sulfuric Caverns and basically all the Veil maps. Now, the next thing, minions AI. This needs to be improved, especially in the interiors, and the move command needs to become attack plus move. You know, like in RTS games. As it is now, it's pretty useless and the minions get stuck all the time in the interiors. Maybe make their collisions smaller, I don't know, just a thought. The breaches are almost impossible with the Infernalist and Mercenary because of the slow hitting attacks with delay of the projectiles. This is the thing I've talked about. But the Invoker just shits on breaches. I think this is intended because you need to find your class strong points. Yeah, after a point even the Infernalist shits on breaches, but that's like after I invested 30 or 40 divines into the gear. This was talked about the hell and back, but I'll still mention it because it's very important. Some life nodes in the passive tree or something, I don't know. The scaling life requires you to dish out tens of divine orbs per item, and it feels bad. After I spent like 30 to gear up my Invoker, I only got 2.3k life and under 2k energy shield. Having 0 ways to get more life in the passive tree sucks. At least on jewels, just add them on jewels or something, I don't know, but we need alternate ways to increase the life pool. And yeah, let's look at my Infernalist on the flip side, and I think this is not even that good, but still, similar cost of gear by the way, if not a bit more. I get almost 9k energy shield and 1.5k life. I didn't even try to get life on gear with this, because it's too expensive. But the point still stands, scaling life is hard because of 0 life nodes in the passive tree. So yeah, please don't nerf energy shield too much, but buff everything else by a lot. The belts with more than 1 charm slot are again like unicorns for me. I bought a cheap one with 3 slots of someone else, but I have never ever saw even a 2 slot drop in 300 hours of playing. And spread the maps more evenly. If a map is not unique, just use it more often. And after doing maps for days, there are regular maps I saw only once, while I saw tens of Ogre and Vel factories. And make the biomes visible on the Atlas. I'm not talking about the tooltip here, because they'll add something in the tooltip to reflect the biome. But I'm talking about making biomes on the Atlas map more obvious, you know. Add more ways to craft stuff. We need more deterministic crafting, because buying 99% of our gear from someone else feels bad. Slamming exiles in hopes of a good stat is bad most of the time, because the odds of you getting some shit like light radius or regen 10 life per second seems way higher than what you want. Even if you'd be pleased with 2 or 3 outcomes, you know. Fix your crashes, because after some update I started crashing every other hour. It's annoying not because you lose one portal, but because you start from the initial starting point of the map with fog of war all over it, making it ass to explore again. Add some waypoints into the maps, perhaps this might alleviate my backtracking problem to some extent, I don't know, but be generous with them. I want one waypoint at every intersection and every dead end, so we can easily go back to the intersection and explore the other side. Yeah, this is everything I could think of. Just a quick little video after my New Year's break. From what I saw, the devs are on top of things and they'll make Path of Exile 2 great. I didn't want to make this seem like a negative video because I pretty much love the game. I just want it to become better, and I believe grinding gear games will do it. Thank you for watching, and please add more things you wish GGG should change for the better. Until next time, take care and see ya.